Welcome to Positive Talk with Kevin McDonald. Hey, that's me. Hi, and welcome to Positive Talk. Our show features the best positive stories and people from around the globe as we endeavor to answer the universal question of why am I here and what is my purpose? Understanding that can change everything, and knowing your greatness is fundamental to living your best life. So join us right now as together we work to create the adventure of our lifetime. And today we get to have a show that has been 20 years in the 21 years in the making, because this is my 21st year of being associated with KKNW. And we have got a wonderful guest. But first, I've got to talk to my board operator and the program director of KIXI and KKNW. And that would be Eric. Eric, how are you?
Good afternoon and happy Friday, Kevin. I'm doing fine.
Good.
Happy New Year to you, by the way, too, because this is the first show we've done on KIXI this year.
That's right. That's right. And it is raining like cats and dogs at my house. Are there cats and dogs raining everywhere?
It is pretty wet out there, that's for sure.
Well, you know, I got to tell you, we have a great show today, and my guest is... I've known him for 21 years now. 20, oh gosh, seems like a long time, doesn't it? And he was with me the very first day that I started a show on KKNW in 2003. It was called Spirit Talk at that time.
That's right. Very briefly.
Very briefly, because I figured out that was not the appropriate name. And then it changed to... the Kevin McDonald Show, Positive Talk in the afternoon, and then we figured out that was like way too long, and so it became Positive Talk Radio, and has been such ever since. And I got to ask you, how long were you with KKNW at the time that show started?
What year was that again?
Started in January 2003.
2003. So I had been close to 3 years with KKNW at that point.
Wow. Well, I got to tell you that because of a couple things. First of all, if you have not listened to KKNW, I know we're on KIXI today, and this is a 50,000 watt blowtorch that goes all over the place and has got some great programming on it, including John Tesh every day from 10 till 3. And I'm fortunate enough to follow him on Fridays. With Positive Talk Radio, and but KKNW has a unique place in my view, American radio history, and the reason I say that is that I've looked at different places to maybe place our program, and there really is nothing like KKNW. Can you give us a brief synopsis of? I know KKNW turned from a CNN affiliate to a local programming station in 2003, right when I joined it. But was that the what has been the phenomenal changes in KKNW over the years, and what was the original purpose? Do you remember?
Well, yeah, the original purpose, the reason why we went from being a headline news affiliate to embracing the variety talk that we still embrace to this day, 20 years later, is that, we wanted to give a voice to the community. We wanted folks that had always dreamed of being on the radio and talking about the things they wanted to talk about, a chance to do so, and with the overarching goal that it be positive, which you picked up on right away and came up with Positive Talk Radio, which we loved, and so glad that it shoehorned right into what we were trying to do, and then over the years, we've had our ups and downs, with people coming and going, and some talk not being as positive as we'd hoped. But, basically, we embrace free speech, and we embrace the idea that people should have a chance to talk to their community.
It really is a unique concept in the industry. Have you found that to be true?
Absolutely. Yeah. I don't know of many other stations like us.
I've looked pretty thoroughly, and I can't find not one that can say that they are alternative talk or can embrace local people looking at local issues and or national people. It doesn't matter. It's all promoted and put together by the hosts themselves and from independent companies, and you provide the forum that allows them, and also, by the way, the expertise to be able to take folks from a wide range of skill sets and abilities to make them sound good on the radio and to make them sound like they actually know what they're doing, which I fall into that category when I first started with you.
Well, you're getting better every day, so
I better.
Sometimes it works out.
But I just wanted to say thank you to you personally, because you became a vital part of Positive Talk Radio, and you were embedded fabric of every show, and you added a great deal to what we talked about and what we tried to get done. And I dare say that it would not have been nearly as successful as it was had you not been part of it. So I wanted to thank you publicly for that.
Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, we had other great team members involved on with your with the program, and they all contributed well, and you've got great people involved working with you now, and they all do a great job contributing to the show as well. So it's always been a team effort. So that's one thing that's been really nice, is meeting new and interesting people that are interested in getting out, a good message on the radio and expressing themselves. And, right from the very beginning, you were doing that. You weren't just going, it's Kevin, it's all about Kevin. You were like, how can I get other folks involved? And you did a good job with that. So kudos there.
Well, thank you, because to me, that was the essence of what we were trying to do, is to form a community. And I really wanted to make it so that you could tune in and you could feel like you were part of a community of people listening to the show. And I tried to ask questions that the audience would be wanting to ask, and that sort of thing with all the individuals we've had. I mean, when you look back on it, Eric, we've had some extraordinary human beings with Neil Donald Walsh and Gary Zukoff and Greg Braden and Tony Ventrella, who's a local phenomenon here, and many, many others. And it's been a great ride. But the reason that I bring that up is to say that it was years. I did not know that you were a musician. I think because you never brought it up, because it was all focused about the show, but you were a musician way back then and were working on developing your musical stylings.
That's true. Yeah. Yep. And I'd like to think I've gotten better over the years too.
Well, everything.
And just like your show, things got much better once I involved other people, which can be tough, at the beginning. So, just finding like-minded people to play with over the years has been really great. And I've grown as a musician and as a songwriter and a performer in that time, thankfully, largely due to bandmates and playing shows with other bands out there. So, yeah, it's been a fun ride. But, yeah, I didn't talk about it too much back then because it was very embryonic at the time. But also, I'm not, my job is to help folks with radio. It's not to, try and promote my hobby, So, when I thought it was appropriate to talk about, when people asked me about it, that's when I was happy to talk about it. But I'm not trying to push myself or my artistic stuff onto people. I'm just hoping that magically, maybe, folks will stumble across something that I've done and enjoy it. And if they don't, that's fine too. Like I said, it is largely a hobby, but we've been really lucky in 2023 in that we've had some interest pick up in the group, which is very satisfying. Although kind of surprising because, again, we've been going for a while, and it would have been cool to have some attention when we were younger and thinner. But, what are you going to do?
Well, you know that I'm a Beatles fan, have been forever, and so I reference them a lot. And people tend to think that they got their start in '63 and '64 when they hit America. They were actually playing together for like 7 years before 1963, and they were like 15 and 16. And so it takes time
doing the rounds as a skiffle band.
That's exactly right. They were a skiffle band, and then John met Paul, and Paul brought George, and they went to Hamburg, and they met Ringo, and that's how they became who they are. But it took time, and
absolutely,
they were playing like 6 days a week in Hamburg. They were playing like 7 or 8 hours a day, 6 days a week, and that's how they became the band that they were. So it takes time. That's my only point.
Absolutely.
And so now 2023 is a banner year for you and your band, which is called Battersea.
That is correct, yes.
And you have got an album, which I'll use the proper language. You're dropping your album today.
That's right, yeah. Today's the first time that folks can buy it. And if they're interested in doing that, they would go to batterseatheband.bandcamp.com.
And you've written most of the songs or some of the songs?
All of the songs.
Oh, very nice. Because I was looking at your bio here, and you've joined with two gentlemen that have BJ Robertson and where's the other one here? Nate Marshall, right?
That's right. Yeah. And BJ is no longer with the band, unfortunately. I had to give up drumming this last year due to some health issues, but he plays on the album, and the pictures of him are in the booklet that we have for the album. So he's very much a part, especially of this album, and we wish him well. But we've got a fantastic new drummer named Kyle, who's going to be playing with us going forward at our various live shows. So it should be great. And Nate Marshall, fantastic bass player, who, complements my songwriting very well. Both those guys just magically know what to add to these songs to really flesh them out and make them way more listenable than if it was just me and a guitar.
Well, but that is what a band should be.
Absolutely.
The collaboration of all three members, adding their own spice to it and their own abilities and coming up with different things. I think it's great. Well, I wanted to say congratulations to you, because I can't think of it happening to a nicer guy, because I think the album's going to do well. Don't you?
I hope so. Yeah, I hope so. It took us a while to get this done, because we all work full time. We all have, careers and other interests and stuff. So, it takes time. And then as a small band, as an indie band without like a huge audience, there's not like a record company going, gentlemen, we've got to get this album done. We've got to get this out, for our clamoring fans. It's like, yeah, folks come and see us and we appreciate it, but it's not like, the Beatles or anything like that. So it really had to be just like, when we were happy with the performance, when we were happy with the recordings, and we got to 10 of those, let's go ahead and put it out for folks.
Exactly. And by the way, you forgot the one word, yet. You're not famous yet. But
you never know.
What?
You never know.
Yeah, that's absolutely true. But the cool thing is, you like the music. It's part of you. It's part of who you are.
And on that famous thing, all the bands that I've loved, I know you're a huge fan of the Beatles, which is probably the biggest band of all time, but all the groups that I loved were really small. All the music that I got into were bands that were playing clubs their whole career, rather than, there's a few that graduated onto like arenas and stuff, or theaters, but that's a rarity for me. Most of the bands that I love I have to fly to other places to see them live because they can't afford to tour. So, with influences like that, I never imagined us being, the kind of band that would be playing Climate Pledge Arena or anything like that. But, playing the rock clubs around here is just as fun for me. And that's the kind of show that I like going to. So, being able to play venues like that is what I've always dreamed about. And the fact that we're able to do that now is pretty cool.
Well, I've always loved music, and I don't know if you know this, but for a period of time after Positive Talk Radio I ended up doing a show late night on KKNW, which was
I remember.
Yeah, and we had tons and tons of local bands. It is amazing to me how many talented people are in the area.
We're really lucky. Yeah, we've got a great music scene. And, it's been tough for the Seattle musicians because, again, there's not usually a lot of money associated with making independent music. And, how rents have kind of skyrocketed here in the Northwest. It's been tough for people to stay in Seattle and continue making music. But, most of those folks have gone to the outlying communities like Tacoma and stuff. So we still have an extremely cool music scene that is really thriving. It just may not be, centered in downtown Seattle anymore, if it ever was, or Capitol Hill, because those places are, a little too expensive for your average indie musician.
Well, and the way that you get into venues like that has changed over the years. And now they expect the bands to either pay or come up with so many ticket sales or, various things in order to book those things. And you were talking about getting signed to a record deal. There was a local band called The Senate. I don't know if you ever knew of them. And they were signed.
Yeah, they were big in Washington.
Yes, and they were signed to a contract.
DC.
Yeah, well, in fact, hold on.
That's way more than that deserved, but
so that, but they signed a record deal here, and they ended up, because of how the contracts work, they can front you money. And then you make an album, and then they expect the album to do X. Right. And when it doesn't do X, they want their money back. And they were paying that record company back for like 10 years. So there's something to be said for being an indie artist rather than getting locked down to a contract.
Well, that's the thing. We never wanted to go in debt for our music. And we've managed now. I mean, recording equipment has gotten to the point where you can do something that sounds really good in a home studio now, whereas back in the day you would have really had to go shell out $30 an hour to make a good sounding record. So that would have been even tougher for a band like ours that is not exactly going platinum, but thankfully now we've really seen musical equipment get more affordable in some aspects, at least in the recording aspect. So we were able to make our album in my home studio, and I'm very pleased with how it turned out, because we did go that other route a few years back and go into a studio and spend a couple $100 recording just a couple songs, and we just weren't all that happy with it because we were kind of nervous, being there in a professional room and me thinking about just the money evaporating also just made the performances just not as good as we got when we were, able to do this at our own pace, at our own time. So I'm really thankful for that.
Well, and because of your skills as a board operator and a producer, you can do those things so you don't require somebody to come in and do it who doesn't know what you're doing. And so they make changes that you might not approve of.
Well, that is very helpful, but I definitely had a huge assistance on recording this record in that once it was recorded, my friend Mike Krushka who's played with a bunch of different bands over the years, and also has a great Bandcamp site, mikekrushka.bandcamp.com. And his band is called Yesterday's Velvet Dream, which is just a musical project that he does in his studio. He was kind enough to mix the record for us and did a great job. And you know, it wouldn't have been anywhere near as good without his assistance and input. So I got to give big thanks to him. And people definitely need to check out his music. That's Krushka, KRUSHKA, for folks out there that want to check out his stuff. Because I really think, Kevin, you would love it. The stuff that he's recorded, it's so good. He's kind of a recluse, so he doesn't get out there and promote as much as he should. So I'm glad to have a chance to plug his stuff too, because it's fantastic. And he was great and invaluable in the assistance in getting this album mixed and you know, ready to hit people's ears.
And what's his name again?
Mike Krushka.
Perfect. Go find him and look at his music and what he's doing, because indie artists are really cool. They got their passion about their work. They're really excited about it, and in some cases, you know, it turns into something great. And I've been fortunate enough to interview a bunch of folks that have done really well. As a matter of fact, the theme song that I use was written by a gentleman by the name of Tommy Tika, and he wrote that kind of for me, but then he took that song and he put it onto an album, and it has he's got 10,000 views on YouTube with that song. It's called Fire and Ice, so you can go listen to that. But it's really a lot of fun. Now, you did a 3-minute little thing that what I'd like to do is to play that, and then we'll go to commercials at the bottom of the hour, and then we're going to come back and we're going to play some of your music, because people are saying, all right, you're talking about it, but I want to hear what he does.
That sounds great. Yeah, I put together this trailer that just features a small snippet of every song on the album. There's 10 songs on the album, so this is about 3 minutes long, and it's got some pictures from the record sleeve. Or CD sleeve, I guess I should say. People still think of records as being vinyl, even though record just means a recording. So
right.
people get too precious about those terms, I think. But
I went and looked at vinyl records now. They are now collector's items, and they are very expensive.
Well, you know, vinyl is doing extremely well. It's selling on par with CDs these days, and we'd love to have our album come out on vinyl at some point too, but right now it's just a little too expensive to manufacture that for the demand that we have. But you know, if this you know, manages to sell more copies on CD and digital downloads, then yeah, we'll look at a vinyl pressing at some point.
So where can they, since it dropped today, where can they upload the album, or where can they buy a CD from?
You can download it at battersea.bandcamp.com. There's other Batterseas out there that have unfortunately hijacked our names, and we don't have the powerful lawyers to get them to cease and desist. But if you go to batterseatheband.bandcamp.com, you will find us. So,
oh, that's awesome. Well, let's play that. I'm anxious to hear it.
You got it. Here we go.
That is really awesome there.
Hey, thank you.
That.
And the full video for that is available on YouTube. You just put in Battersea shooting day for night, and you'll find that trailer if you want to check it out.
Oh, I think
try before you buy, if you like.
So now let me ask you: was it the music first, or the lyrics, or how does your process work?
I typically write both at the same time to get a little bit of an idea for like a chord progression or something, and then kind of think of little phrases or something that goes along maybe with that musical phrase, and then kind of build on it from there, both musically and lyrically.
Do you keep a little notepad on you in case something strikes you as being a great lyric that you want to remember?
I do, but I don't use it as much as I should. I tend to come up with great stuff and then, like, right before I'm about to fall asleep, and then forget about it the next day. But then sometimes if I do that enough, it'll stick in my brain, so that the next time that I'm working on a song, it'll find its way into that.
Now, how you've got a full-time job, you've got a life, you got stuff that you're responsible for. How much time does it take to put an album like this together? I know you've been working on it for 10 years, but
yeah,
if you have the material, does it take a long time for you to put it together?
It could go really quickly, or it could go quite slowly. It all just depends on, what your setup is, and how much time you've got on your hands, and who all you got involved. So it could take a long time like it did for us, or it could be really quickly. And so we're hoping actually that the second full-length album will be out next year, in 2025, because we've learned so much from recording this that I think it's going to be a lot quicker next time around. And I've already got like 5-6 songs in the can, so ready to go to record. So
that means that you've got a set of like 15 songs that you can pull out and like when.
Oh yeah, we did it
on the 19th at
that's right. Yeah,
New Frontier Lounge.
That is correct. And Kevin, you wanted to take a break, so I didn't want it to interrupt that. I just didn't know if you wanted to intro that once we came back from the trailer, or go straight to it. So just to keep you on track here, I want to give you that option to take the break if you like right now.
You're stepping into your other role as running the show, and I really appreciate that. Why don't we go ahead and do that? Take a break real quick, and then when we come back, what I'd like for you to do is I'd love to hear. I love the pacing of the first song that you played with the bass and with the drums and what you did, or you pick whatever. If you had to pick a single. And I don't know if you did this or if you're going to do this, because it's a packaged album now. But if you were to put out a single, I want you to play that song.
You got it.
Okay, we'll be right back after these messages. We're talking with Eric Reidar from the band Battersea.
Do you need to boost your sales? Join our partnership program. Each quarter, we promote 10 partner businesses. What will you get? The company will produce one 30-second video for your business. Your website links on positivetalkradio.net and kmmedia.pro. One dedicated podcast or radio show per month. One video Instagram reel. One YouTube short. One 60-second clip for social media taken from your interview, and at least one commercial airplay per show. All podcast and video commercials are within the fabric of the show and will remain in the show forever. Visit kmmedia.pro to book a consultation today.
When you want to say more than words communicate, you can with flowers. Your custom boutique floral studio in Bothell, Washington is anaturaldesign.com, connecting you to nature through the language of flowers. Where your people are is where our flowers are beautiful. Your success is our goal.
For being our appreciated listener, you can use promo code PTR20 at checkout to receive 20% off your order.
anaturaldesign.com at your fingertips today.
We believe in the power of telling your stories. We want to help yours be seen and heard. At the Pacific Northwest Collaborative Magazine, our purpose is to connect you to your community. Let's begin by celebrating the accomplishments of local artists featured in this brand new digital magazine. Here, you can learn about opportunities to creatively come together and support our local community and neighbors through the gift of art and service. If your business or organization would like to take part in this magazine, message us on Instagram at pnw.collab. You can download our free digital magazine at KM Media Pro today.
Thank you to our dedicated fans. We are updating our live on-air schedule to make it super easy for you to hang out with us 5 days a week, Monday through Friday at 3 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. We broadcast on YouTube, Facebook, and live on Fridays with KIXI 880 a.m. Seattle Live. You can find our library to binge all the podcast platforms. We can't wait to see you at 3 p.m. Monday through Friday, starting September 4th, Labor Day 2023.
And welcome back to Positive Talk Radio. We've got a great special guest today. His name is Eric Reidar, and you've heard his voice. You've heard his stylings before. He's the program director of KIXI and also KKNW. He's also the leader of the band, as it were. Battersea is the name of the band. And we just played a little bit of his music, and we're going to play more in this half hour, or this is actually 24 minutes. It's great, Eric, and it sounds like you guys are a together group, which is really great to see.
Well, thank you. Yeah, we have a good time.
And how often do you guys get together, and at whose house do your neighbors complain about when you guys get together and play?
Luckily, I have a basement studio where we rehearse. So I've done my best to kind of soundproof it. So I haven't had a complaint from the neighbors just yet, thankfully. Used to practice at my old house, which was not in the basement. But, oddly enough, we never had a complaint. And in fact, I had a couple people stop me on the street and say that they had been listening outside, like standing in the alley and enjoyed our stuff. So I was like, okay, well, I think we should keep going then. If random passerbys are going to be down with it, then I guess I'll keep going.
You're positively affecting the community without even knowing it.
Sometimes that's all you need, right?
That's right. And now you have been doing this for a long time. Is it really your underlying passion? Because I love the fact that you're a very successful man, professionally and personally, and then you have this hobby that you do that you're also successful at. You run out of time occasionally, I would think, but it's great that you're following your passion.
I mean, absolutely. Speaking of the running out of time, why do you think it took 10 years to get an album done? It's because, we all of the band have full-time jobs and and relationships and hobbies and all kinds of stuff that get in the way, even when this is the thing that we love the most. And again, with no record company breathing down our neck, it's not like we have to grind stuff out. We do it because we love it. So and not having the pressure can be a really good thing.
And have you been singing as long as you've been playing, or is that a newer thing?
Yeah, I've been singing since I was probably 10 years old or so, and I think I've kind of gotten decent at it here in the last couple of years. So, sometimes it takes time.
Well, I think you're more than decent at it. So,
oh well, thank you so much.
You've got one of those great voices anyway, and so it's nice to hear you on the radio as much as you do, but playing the music that you are, and I really hope that this album does well. In fact, I was just thinking that if you want to, rather than me play the same piece of music that I do to bring back the show, we can do snippets of your stuff if you want to do that. I'd be happy to host that if you wanted to do that, but that's up to you.
Sure, yeah, we can figure that out later.
Okay. Now, going into the break, I was saying that we would play a song that if you were to make a single out of it, that one of the ones that you are just so proud of, and I know you're proud. It's like having children, isn't it?
Not ever having children. I can't say for sure, but yeah, if I had to, when I had multiple pets, choose between one of them, I definitely couldn't have done that. But yeah, with the songs, I have to kind of go with, what's been the best audience reaction, I think, on stuff. And like the other band members, as we write this, like, oh, that I really like that, or that's got a great hook or something like that, to make me kind of think, oh yeah, this maybe potentially has potential. But yeah, I think we've got a few songs on here that could potentially, receive some radio play outside of this interview at some point. Fingers crossed.
Well, I sincerely hope so. And by the way, because a lot of people have thought about being a rock star, including me, but I don't have this. I can't sing, and I can't play, and I can't write anything. So hence,
it's never too late to learn.
That's true. Oh, no, it is. For me, I'm just happy doing what I'm doing. But what's it like getting on stage, setting up your stuff, making sure that everything is in tune, and then turning around and looking at the audience and starting to play your stuff? What's the feeling like?
I got to say that part I don't like so much. I have stage fright, and I've when we're trying to set up equipment and something is not working exactly how it should, as quickly as it should, that feels like the most pressure that I ever feel doing music. And so I can't say I enjoyed that so much. But once we start playing and get, maybe midway through the first song or even in the second song, and it's going well, that's a great feeling. Especially when you can see like the crowd kind of vibing on it and enjoying it. That feels great. That makes it worth the other stress,
Well, especially since it's something that you wrote, and
right.
They are, but I gotta tell you, Ringo Starr has got the same problem. He gets stage fright to this day. The man's 81.
Right.
And he gets stage fright, so that's why he has to run onto the stage. If you ever go to his concert, you'll see him run onto the stage so he doesn't say, "No, I'm not going."
Maybe I'll try that next time.
Well,
then I'll trip and fall and die, but
you don't want to do that. Well, I'll leave it to you, young man. Let's play a song. Give us a little background for it, and then let's play one.
Sounds good. So this is a song called Evergreen, and I think this may be the poppiest of our songs. And it's really just about, when I was growing up, I used to like kind of daydream about a place that I would kind of see in my mind. If I close my eyes, I would like see like a place that I didn't know existed. I thought it was just an imaginary place. And then when I moved up here to Western Washington, I kind of found that place. I saw what I had seen in my mind as a kid growing up, or just imagining a beautiful place to be. And I kind of found that here in Washington. And so that's basically what this song is about. It's just about finding that place that you love. And it's about regional pride, I guess.
Perfect. And the name of the song is Evergreen.
Evergreen. Yep.
Spread
Thank you very much.
That was really good. And you've got a great voice.
Oh, thank you so much.
I love how tight the band is and how together it is. And the bass player, you're right. He's very talented.
Yeah. Nate Marshall, he's been playing with me for, I want to say 11 years now or so. We've just got a great musical relationship, I guess.
And you as a lead guitarist are really good too, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, I mostly play rhythm guitar, especially live, and then I overdubbed some lead guitar on the album just to flesh it out.
That's really good, and so I appreciate that. Now we're gonna, let's see, we've got about 10 minutes left in the show. Can we do one more song before we go? Is that possible? He's looking now. He's looking to see.
I'm actually using a CD player, and like it's the 90s, so I had to kind of step over to that. Yeah, we absolutely can do that, and a lot of songs on here, so just trying to choose shorter ones, I guess, because we've got a few epics that are between 6 and 7 minutes long, so we won't play those full tunes here. But I've got another song that I think if we were to have singles, this would be one of them. And in fact, we're working on a video for it. So this one is called Bell's Palsy.
Bell's Palsy. That's really good. And so, just so you know, I was a DJ back when they had turntables. So CDs were like the newest thing back then.
Right.
So anyway, Eric, tell us about this song.
I actually had Bell's palsy a couple times, and it's something that can kind of happen to you anytime in your life. And they still don't know exactly what causes it, but basically it's just one of your side of your face just droops and stops responding. So you look kind of weird, basically. Thankfully, it's not all that painful. But it is very surprising, like when you suddenly wake up and can't control half of your face. And that happened to me, and I thought it was an allergy or something. And then I went to the doctor, and turns out it was Bell's palsy. And then I want to say 2 or 3 years later, the other side did it. And so, that was surprising as well. But thankfully, in modern medicine, can help with it. So if you have this issue, then do go see a doctor, get some urgent care. Yep. So thankfully with some antibiotics and stuff, I was back to normal within a month. But the whole process just made me think about getting older. And how, our bodies can kind of turn on us a little bit as we age. And it's a natural thing, but it is something that definitely happens to pretty much everybody. And so that started me thinking about life and, again, about our bodies. And so that's what the song is about. It doesn't really relate to Bell's palsy, but I just like the name. So went with that.
Well, very nice. By the way, as far as aging goes, you just wait, young man. Just wait.
Believe me, I am already aging quite a bit. I feel it, and all we can do is kind of try our best to be healthy and and try and enjoy life while we still have it. So, which was one of the reasons we really wanted to put out our album, exactly. Regardless of whether it was going to sell a million copies or not, just because we wanted to do it. So.
Well, it's going to sell a lot of copies, and that's, by the way, when we come back, because we need to play this, but I would love to know where the name Shooting Day for Night came from.
Sure. All right. Well, here's Bell's palsy. That'll be the radio edit here since we're running out of time, unfortunately.
And that is a hit. You have the Positive Talk Radio stamp of approval. That one is definitely a hit. It's got great harmonies to it and a great beat, and I like it a lot. It's really cool.
I appreciate that.
And the name Shooting Day for Night.
Yes. Well, do you know what Shooting Day for Night means?
I haven't got a clue.
Oh, okay. So in the old days when they were shooting film, shooting movies and TV shows, they didn't shoot nighttime scenes at night. They would shoot nighttime scenes during the day, and then they would put a filter over it to make it look like it was night. So you've got some real interesting scenes from old movies and TV that look kind of weird at nighttime. And for me, I just use it as a metaphor of something being not quite real. So it's also a lyric in one of our songs called Hidden in Plain Sight. But that was the idea, that it's something not quite real, something slightly otherworldly.
And before we go, because we've run out of time, but I want to make sure that go to Positive Talk Radio, the YouTube channel, and click on that video and this show that we just are completing now. And let's make it go viral for Eric so that he can get lots of sales for Battersea. We can all do that together, I think.
You are too kind, sir.
And I want to thank everybody for being here. We'll be back on Monday. And by the way, remember, be kind to one another because each other's all we got. Go to Positive Talk Radio, the YouTube channel, and listen to that. That's great.
Thanks, Kevin.
Thank you, sir. Have a great weekend.